just now taking a piece of old olive cardstock, folding it in half, creasing it with my bone folder. So when folded, the card measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And one of the new folders in the holiday catalog is this cable knit dynamic textured impression embossing folder. That's a mouthful, but let me tell you, this is a hardcore embossing folder. It is extremely thick, and you won't believe the impression that this makes on your cardstock. So one of the tricks to using this embossing folder is to lightly mist your cardstock with water before you put it through the embossing folder. So this is an old Stampin' Mist that I've filled up with water, so I'm just giving it a light mist. I do both sides, and because this is so thick, you don't need both plates when you put it through the Big Shot. You only need one plate. So I'm going to open it all the way up, and I'm going to tuck this in side, oops, just like that. Put my plate on it, put it on my platform, and run it through my Big Shot. Okay, here is the magic. Can you see how incredibly deep that impression is? I really hope the camera can pick up on that, because it is insane. It is just insane. It is the coolest, and it looks really pretty on the other side too, but of course that's the side we're going for. So that's my card base. Now I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 3. So this is going to be my focal point. And we have our new Merry Mice Christmas stamp set. So cute. And I just did a video recently using this guy, but in this card we're going to use the trio of mice down here. Oh, I'm taking my black stays on. And I'm stamping this right in the center. Cute, huh? So now we're going to quickly color them, and I'm going to use my blending pen with my ink pads. All of the supplies will be listed on my blog at www.serenestamper.com. Okay, so there's my mice colored. Really pretty. I try not to use too many colors, and of course I used Old Olive to bring out the color of the base of the card. So I want these little mice to look like they're walking on ground and not just kind of floating. So I'm going to take some Pear Pizzazz and my aqua painter, and I'm just going to lightly do underneath their feet. So these must be like little mice from Florida where it doesn't snow because they're walking on grass. So now it's time to put this card together. And one of the elements on the card is a bow using the bow builder punch. So I'm going to punch out 2 of these. And if you haven't used this punch before, it's really, really fun. And I should mention the paper I'm using is from our new Warmth and Cheer Designer Series paper pack. And it is so much fun. I really, really like it. And of course, these are beautiful patterns to go with the cable knit embossing folder. That's my favorite. The Swedish in me is loving that. All right, let's get this bow made. Okay, you could use glue like your fine tip glue pen or glue dots or the liquid glue, but for the video I'm going to use my glue dots because it's very quick to put it together this way. So let me find the beginning of my dots. There we go. So putting one on the end and then fold it. So that's your first bow. Okay, do the same thing. Okay. So there's our 2 pieces, and then these pieces go underneath. So there's the tail end on that one. The tail end on that one. Then I'm putting another glue dot underneath this piece so that I can attach these together. So if you wanted to, you could leave it like that and just put a rhinestone or a pearl or button or anything you want in there. But we also have this tiny little piece that punches out from the bow builder punch. It's this piece right here, and that wraps around just to make it nice and clean. So I'm going to put a glue dot behind this piece here and then just fold this right over. Oops. And another glue dot on this end and fold that over. So I know that uses a lot of glue dots, but that makes it like super duper fast, and there's a lot of glue dots in our little boxes. Or like I said, you could use glue as well. So there's my pretty bow. So I have taken a paper doily and I've cut it into tiny little triangles like this because I just want a little bit of that ruffle to be showing. So I'm actually going to use my liquid glue because it's what's handy. Put a little bit behind that. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay. So there's my paper doily. Now I'm going to add this to the card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now I'm just putting that on the middle of the card, like that. Then we have some Warmth and Cheer designer washi tape. So pretty, and of course that coordinates with the designer series paper that I showed you earlier. pretty fun. So I'm going to take this here, which has crumb cake in it, and I'm going to take this here with the trees in it. And even though the green on this is garden green and I'm using old olive, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel some of that off. And I'm going to put a little bit right there. I want this piece to be a little bit longer. And put that right on top. So you're not really going to see all the trees anyhow, because my bow is going to be on top of it. And actually I'm going to tear this off so it looks a little bit better on the edge. I'm just lining it up with the edge of the Whisper White. And I'm going to take my bow, add a glue dot behind it. I'm actually putting a glue dot, 3 of them actually, so that I've got one behind each tie and in the center. And I'm going to set that right down here in the middle. So you can faintly see some of that green coming behind the bow from the washi tape. You can see some of that doily. You've got some cute washi tape. This is so adorable. I love it. So the last thing we need, of course, is a little sentiment. So now it's time to add the sentiment. So I've got some scrap Whisper White here. I'm going to use It's Time to Deck the Halls. I'm going to stamp that with my black Stays On. Trim this up. I'm going to cut a Stampin' Dimensional in half. Put that behind the banner. Just like that. And the last thing we need is a little bit of glitter. So I'm taking my 2A glue pen, or you can use your fine tip glue pen and just add glitter wherever you want it. Putting some on the Christmas lights. I put some on the little bow and of course the hat. Maybe we'll put a bit on the present here. There's my card. So far, this is probably one of my favorite cards I've made in a while. I just think it's really, really adorable. So, are you wondering where I got the idea to make this card? I can tell you it came from the holiday catalog that just came out from Stampin' Up! Today, and it's fantastic. And if you look on page 12, do you see that card right there? That's where I got my layout idea. So this is the beautiful thing about all our catalogs. They're full of beautiful samples that you can tweak and make them your own. So as you can see here, I changed the cardstock base to Old Olive, and I changed the main focal image to the mice, made it a little bit longer, and the rest is pretty much the same. So you can get lots of great ideas from your Stampin' Up! Catalogs as well as online. There's so much inspiration everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed that card. Thank you for watching, and happy stamping.